Hello, I am currently in St. Genevieve, Missouri, and this is the oldest permanent settlement west of the Mississippi River. Now, behind me is the old middle school of the St. Genevieve R-II School District. This building was originally constructed in 1935 and has housed the St. Genevieve Middle School for the last 50 years. Now, when this building was originally built, it housed the junior high and the high school, which was back in the 1930s. That was grades 7 through 12. The building itself maintains its original design since 1935, and you can see that it maintains a classic look that was common back in the 1930s. You can see this extending facade here that comes out of the building itself, of the main wall, and the entrances right there go into a staircase that will take you to the second floor. It almost has a palace or a castle-like look to it when you look at it from the outside. It also has a common architectural trend that you will also see from the 1930s, which is the cupola on the top, which back then was used as a ventilation system during hot days. The exterior of the building itself has maintained its original form while making minor maintenances to it since its original construction. The windows have changed, but the outside is still the same, and the inside has changed a little bit as well. This center door right here was originally the band room, but since they've divided it and turned it into the main office along with the ISS room. And behind me, you can, up here in these center windows right underneath the sign that at one point said St. Genevieve High, these windows was once the St. Genevieve High School library. They have since divided it into 3 different classrooms for extra classroom space when they built the new building down the hill. The old building has changed a little bit with the extensions, but it has still maintained its original form and is still a great example of maintaining historic preservation while also extending with new buildings. Okay, so now I am in front of the main entrance to the high school building. And the high school has undergone some major changes throughout the 110 years of the school district's first graduating class. Part of the construction noises, they're doing some extensions on the grade school, which we will get to in a little bit. To this side is the original high school entrance from the addition they built down the hill at the original middle school that's up the hill in 1965. And to this side is the entrance now, which we call the Commons. So on this side, you see a more modern architecture technique compared to the old middle school building. So the exterior with the hanging roof over here with the beam poles, it kind of mimics the old French colonial style that litters this entire town with its French colonial architecture. And you can see it here, not so much on the top of the roof, but you can still see it in the exterior. Now here, in the original building here, the entrance to this part of the building is originally the library. So here, the library encompassed that entire room, and since then they've divided the room with the walls and turned it into 2 different rooms, which now houses the tech and the stars room. This part of the building was added in the 1990s, and it encompasses a major common area that goes into the main office and the cafeteria and connects directly to this original building here. So there's still the preservation of the original building that they built in the 60s while still adding on and making new additions to the original structure. The layout has maintained the same, with a few minor changes such as taking out lockers and putting up new cases for the trophies, and building another lounge area, which we call the senior T, which is down the hall from these buildings. Soon we'll be going to the grade school and showing how there are major changes happening there. This is the St. Genevieve Grade School. The original building right next to me was built in 1954, but the focus of this section of the building is to show an ongoing construction project that's happening right now. So right now they are building a brand new gym for the grade school, but they're still maintaining the original historical authenticity of the original building. This white roof right here, where my finger is the original gym. And you can see they're not building over the gym or expanding the gym, they're building next to the gym. So the original gym is still there. They're building the new one next to it, so it maintains the historical authenticity of the original building. And the plan for the new gym, for the old gym, is to turn it into extra classroom space by dividing it up into two different multi-purpose rooms. So this is an ongoing example of how historic preservation is being maintained with the original outlook, with the original architecture and layout of the building, while also adding something that's brand new, up to date, and provides an exceptional educational experience for the St. John grade schoolers. St. Genevieve High School Gymnasium, officially known as the Peggy J. Johnson Gymnasium. This gymnasium houses all of the athletic activities that involve indoor sports, mostly for volleyball and basketball. Now, the gym may look normal as it appears, but it originally did not look like this. This section right here, where you can see the extending lobby area coming out of the main wall, that was originally the end of the building. That was where the wall ended. And the inside of the gym didn't have a row of bleachers, it just had the platform with bleachers. So when they expanded this in the 90s, that is when they added not only new bleachers for more seating for sporting events, but that's when they added this giant lobby here. So the downstairs is more of the lobby area where you walk inside to the stair rail on the right, and you walk down the hallway towards where the locker rooms are. The upstairs is where the concession stands are and where a giant trophy case is for all the athletic awards that the district has won over its decades of sporting events. This section right here, where this glass window is, that is the trophy case. You can see it extending out of the wall here, and as it curves around the building, it adds a really aesthetic art and architecture take to it. And it shows that not only do we still maintain the original building itself, we add on to the buildings with new features, new ways of showing the success of the school district, and even a way to show off the success of its programs as the student athletes embark on great journeys, not only for themselves, but how the school district has grown over the years. So standing behind me right now is the St. Genevieve Performing Arts Center. This is the performing arts center that the district uses for all events that involve the auditorium, whether it be plays, band concerts, choir concerts, or anything of the like. The building itself has a large auditorium that is much larger than the original auditorium, the old middle school gym, which also had the gym. So this gives easy backstage access to the new band room on this side and the choir room on this side. So neither one had to go through large hallways or crowded areas to get to the the auditorium. Now, the building itself is arguably the most artistic of the buildings on St. John's campus. Up here on the rows above the windows, you can see that it maintains fleur-de-lis, which ascribe to the town's original French heritage. The windows give it an authentic theater vibe that not only gives it the theater approach, but it also maintains a good and modern look to an otherwise historic and expanding campus. This is one of the few buildings that is not attached to the original buildings. This is across the parking lot from the gym. I hope you enjoyed this walking tour, and you've learned what it means to not only expand on original buildings, but maintaining their historic preservation with those expansions and adding new features.